The day has exhaled. You feel it in your bones. A long breath finally released. The sun is folding itself gently beneath the horizon, and the light that remains is soft and golden, like the warmth of memory. You stand at the edge of a forest, still, quiet, timeless. There is no need to rush. You take your first step. The ground beneath your feet is softened with moss, layered with leaves that fell seasons ago. Each footfall is muted. The forest welcomes silence, encourages slowness. You listen, and in listening, you begin to feel. The air carries the scent of pine and something older, damp bark, the memory of rain, the breath of the earth itself. A breeze moves through the trees like a long, slow sigh. It brushes against your skin, cool and clean, as if inviting you to shed the day's noise. You notice how your body follows the quiet around you. Your shoulders loosen, your breath deepens, your thoughts, once sharp and fast, begin to soften, to drift like leaves falling in still water. You walk beneath branches arched like cathedral ceilings. Above you, light filters through in speckled gold, dappled patterns that sway with the breeze. Photos dance on your face, warming your eyelids, reminding you that even shadow is a partner to light. In this place, time bends. There is no clock ticking, no screen glowing, only the slow rhythm of the world, as it is, growing, breathing, resting. You pause beside a tall tree, one with bark so wide and ridged, it feels ancient, like it has been holding this space longer than memory. You place your hand against it, cool, textured, alive. There is no sound, and yet you feel the quiet hum of presence, a stillness that isn't empty, but full. Stillness, you begin to understand, is not the absence of motion. It is the presence of awareness. It is the moment your senses open and the mind stops reaching. Like the surface of a lake at dawn, it reflects what's real, not what races ahead or lingers behind. A bird calls in the distance, one simple note, then silence, then another. Even the birds seem to pace their speech, honoring the tempo of the dusk. You walk again, slower now. Each step feels intentional, each breath a quiet ceremony. You are not walking through the forest, you are arriving into yourself. As your mind quiets, something else rises. Curiosity. Not the kind that pulls or demands, but the kind that wonders softly. What grows here when I am still enough to see? Your eyes fall to the forest floor. Beneath the tall trees, small ferns unfurl like green spirals of thought. Moss carpets the stones, softening the world with its patient growth. Everything here knows how to grow slowly, how to take its time. You begin to feel safe doing the same. A squirrel darts up a nearby trunk, but even its motion feels like part of the pattern. No chaos, no clatter, only rhythm, only balance. You pass a stream now, thin, clear, whispering over smooth stones. You kneel beside it and watch as the water finds its way forward, not with force, but with persistence, not in haste, but in harmony. This too, you think, is a kind of stillness, movement without resistance. A single leaf floats past, carried by the current. Its edges curl slightly, but it does not sink. It spins slowly in the water, like a thought being let go. You close your eyes and breathe. Your breath begins to match the rhythm of the forest. Inhale, the breeze. Exhale, the hush. Inhale, the scent of green. Exhale, the weight of thought. With every breath, you feel less separate. The forest is no longer something you walk through. It is something you belong to. You remember that you too are nature. You are made of the same atoms, the same elements, shaped by the same sun. Evening is arriving gently, and with it, a deeper quiet. A kind of silence that doesn't need to be filled, a silence that heals. You sit on a fallen log and let your body rest. The forest does not ask you to do anything. It simply offers itself and waits. Your heart beats a little slower now. You can feel the pulse in your wrists, steady and calm. You place your hands in your lap and listen. To the birds, to the breeze, to your own breath. You realize that stillness is not something you find. It is something you allow. It is already here, waiting beneath the noise. You look up one more time at the canopy, at the dance of leaf and shadow. It feels like a lullaby, like a story without words. And just beyond this moment, past the hush, past the stream, past the soft sigh of trees, is the next breath, and the deeper rhythm of the forest's breath, where air becomes life, and where trees begin to breathe with you. You walk softly now, not just because the ground is padded with needles and moss, but because something in you has shifted. You are listening more deeply, moving with care, as if the forest were something delicate or sacred. The trees around you stand tall, silent, and steady, some with trunks as wide as your arms can stretch, others thinner, younger, still reaching. But all of them are breathing, not with lungs, not like you, but in their own quiet way. You pause and place your hand on your chest. Feel the rise, the fall, the gentle pull of air in and out, like waves brushing the shore of your ribs. Then you look up and notice the leaves swaying, just slightly, dancing in the breeze, trembling at the edge of light. You breathe in again, slowly this time, and wonder, where does this air come from? The answer is all around you. The trees, the ferns, even the smallest blades of green are turning sunlight into the breath in your lungs. Photosynthesis, a soft and ancient miracle, a word you may have learned long ago, but here it means more. It isn't a fact anymore, it's a feeling. It's the gift of your next breath. Each leaf is a small factory of light. Sunbeams strike the green surface, and within the veins of the leaf, carbon dioxide and water are transformed into sugars to feed the tree, and oxygen, just for you. You exhale. Your lungs release carbon dioxide, and the trees receive it with quiet gratitude. This is no small transaction. It is a relationship, a slow and invisible rhythm older than civilization, older than memory. You are not just breathing the forest is breathing you. You begin to walk again, noticing how different trees give different scents. The evergreens crisp and sharp, the broad leaves softer, almost sweet. With each breath you are taking in more than air. You are taking in messages, tiny invisible compounds that trees release to speak to each other, to protect themselves, to calm your nervous system. They are called phytoncides. Trees speak, a forest language made of molecules. When you breathe them in, your body responds without thought. Your heart slows. Your blood pressure softens. Your immune cells quietly awaken. Science calls it forest bathing. Your body calls it coming home. You pass under a great old maple. Its branches curve like open arms, and its leaves rustle with a gentle hush, like someone whispering a secret in a language you almost understand. You stop to rest against its trunk. The bark is rough beneath your fingers, but grounding, like the pages of a well-read book. You lean your head back and feel the quiet thrum of life moving upward through its core. Water and nutrients rise from root to crown, pulled upward by the sun's warmth. A slow, silent climb of life happening right beside your own pulse. You breathe again and again. And suddenly, you feel it. You are no longer separate from this place. You are part of this great inhaling and exhaling, part of the system, part of the breath. There is something profoundly comforting in this. You don't have to try. You don't have to think. You simply breathe, and the trees respond. They give. You give. And together, you keep each other alive. Above, sunlight filters through the leaves, casting shifting patterns on your skin. You watch how the light moves, never still, always adapting, just like breath. Breathing, you realize, is more than survival. It is connection. It is communion. Each inhale draws in the history of a forest that has stood for centuries. Each exhale releases a part of you into the story of the trees, and yet there is no possession here. The trees do not hoard oxygen. They do not charge for the air. They give freely, quietly, completely. You wonder how it would feel to live like that, to give without fear, to exist with trust, to simply be. You sit for a while in this breath-sharing silence. Let your shoulders drop. Let your jaw unclench. Let your thoughts slow until they float like dandelion seeds on a breeze. The trees do not mind if you fall silent. They've known silence longer than any creature, and they know how to hold space. Somewhere nearby, a bird chirps, a small voice, then stillness. Then another breeze moves through the canopy, and you feel it brush your skin like a lullaby. This is not just about lungs and leaves. This is a story of interdependence, of biology and grace entwined. You close your eyes, and for a moment, you imagine the oxygen moving from leaf to air, from air to lung, from lung to blood, carried by red cells like tiny boats, bringing life to every part of you. The breath of the forest becomes your own, and your exhale, invisible, effortless, returns to the trees, where it will become sugar, sap, wood, fruit, shade, future. You are breathing the past and feeding the future. You are not separate from the forest's rhythm. You are part of it. And just as you begin to feel the depth of that connection, you notice something beneath your feet, not above, not around, but below. A deeper web, a hidden network, a system of silent communication beneath the roots, where trees speak to each other in the dark. The earth beneath your feet feels soft, yielding, yet strong. A quiet support you don't have to question. You take another step, and the forest holds you. You pause. The trees are still. The wind has quieted. The birds have hushed their songs. And in the hush, something beckons your attention downward, beneath the moss, beneath the roots, into the dark, unseen life that pulses quietly below. You kneel and touch the forest floor. It's cool, damp, alive, not just dirt, but a world that doesn't need sunlight to grow. Imagine this, just below your fingertips, threads are weaving, not threads of cloth or string, but threads of life, long white filaments called hyphae. They stretch outward, searching gently, forming vast underground nets. Together, they are mycelium, the root-like network of fungi. You've seen mushrooms before, their quiet rise after rain, their domed tops, their strange symmetry. But those are just the fruit. The true body of the fungus lies hidden, sprawling beneath the surface in endless threads, soft as breath, strong as instinct. These fungal networks do something astonishing. They connect trees. They form relationships, tree to tree, root to You close your eyes and imagine the image rising in your mind. A great tapestry beneath your feet, woven with luminous threads, each one linking tree to tree like soft circuitry. You see how an old tree sends carbon to a younger one that struggles to grow in the shade. You see how a wounded sapling receives nutrients from those around it, not by accident, but by design. These fungi form partnerships with the trees, a symbiosis. The fungi help gather water and minerals from the soil, delivering them to the tree's roots. In return, the tree gives sugar, crafted from sunlight, shared in darkness. And beyond nutrients, the network carries messages. When one tree is attacked by insects, it sends chemical signals through the web of mycelium to warn others nearby. Those trees, in turn, prepare their defenses, activating bitter compounds in their leaves, readying for survival. No words, no wires, just molecules and instinct. Just quiet communication in a language older than time. You sit on the earth now, feeling as though the ground beneath you hums, not with sound, but with presence. Each tree becomes more than just a single life. It is part of a community, a forest family. And the elder trees, those that have stood for centuries, they become hubs, mother trees, scientists call them. These mothers feed the young, nurture the weak, hold memory in their rings, and send guidance through the threads. They know which trees are kin. They know who needs help. And they do not forget. You feel your own roots, not in soil, but in time, in the people who came before you, in the care that shaped you, in the unseen support you might never have noticed until now. The forest is not built on competition. It thrives on connection, on support, on networks so silent they could be mistaken for nothing at all. And yet, here it is, a superorganism beneath your feet, thriving in cooperation. You breathe in slowly. Somewhere nearby, a squirrel scampers across a branch, then stops, listening like you, perhaps sensing the story beneath the bark. You lean forward, pressing your palm to the moss. It feels soft, springy, forgiving. But deeper still, your mind imagines the threads, like veins, like rivers, like whispered connections stretching between the lives of trees. What would it feel like, you wonder, to be so connected that you could never fall alone? To be held not by hands but by relationships as invisible as breath and as steady as the earth itself. There is something reassuring in knowing that even the trees rely on others. Even they are not self-made. Their strength lies in the network, in giving and receiving, in the quiet trust.
You remember how, just a moment ago, you were breathing with the trees, how you felt part of the rhythm of air. And now, beneath the ground, another rhythm reveals itself slower, more secret, but just as alive. These fungal networks stretch for miles. They can link forests. They can last for centuries. Some are older than empires. Some are vast beyond comprehension. And yet, their work is intimate, close, root to root, cell to cell. It reminds you that even the vastest systems are made of small, quiet exchanges. A nutrient shared, a signal sent, a gift returned. And now, in this pause, in this moment of stillness on the forest floor, you begin to wonder if the forest can communicate in silence. What else might it be saying? What other messages ripple through the leaves, through the bark, through the soil? You tilt your head upward. The trees reach into the sky with the same trust they send into the soil. They stretch for light, but stay grounded in each other. What might that balance feel like inside your own mind? To be rooted and reaching, anchored and open? And just as the question settles gently into you, a breeze stirs. Above you, leaves flutter. And somewhere, far off, a breath of wind moves through the canopy, spreading like a message from one tree to the next. A silent echo, as if the forest itself is remembering something, or perhaps preparing to speak again. But not with words, with rhythm, with air, with the quiet language of breath that travels from leaf to lung. You find yourself drawn to one small leaf. It dangles just above eye level, hanging from a branch, like a thought suspended in time. Its surface glows with the late light, not bright, but warm, golden, as if the sun has softened into a whisper. You lift your hand toward it, gently, as though touching a secret. It trembles slightly in the breeze, but does not fall. It holds on, its slender stem connecting it to something much larger, a network of twigs, branches, roots, and centuries. You lean in. This one leaf,